the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Dr. Moy Wende, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, National President of the Neighborhood Watch, members of the APMJCF, members of the executive as well, other members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. There are days that I believe that in my past life, I must have been a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Because every single time that I'm called by the association to do something, I just can't tell them no. In fact, I believe that John Morris thinks that I was a member of the organization at some time, because he treats me as if I am. And I'm humbled and I'm honored to always be asked to be a part of this group. This morning when I told a friend of mine that I was going to be coming to a luncheon that you're putting on, the person said to me, "Another luncheon I'm having again?" I said, yes, they do this very often because they recognize their members, they celebrate the people who are part of the association very often. I don't know of many organizations that do the amount of work that you do. So those of you who are currently members of the JCF, just know that when your time comes, you will have to take the mantle and start running, take the baton. I want to congratulate the team behind this luncheon. My name, did I tell you my name already? My name is Janet Therese Silvera. And some people say that I'm a journalist. So there are days when I'm truly a journalist. As Sharon B put, I have to make special mention of her because she's one of my favorite persons in the world, as much as she don't give me none of the story them from out of Hanover. It's okay, it's fine. And I want to also recognize the man in charge here in Trelawny, Milton. I'm going to be calling you. I just want you to know that expect a call from me in my capacity as a journalist. Yeah. There is Leon Jackson right here and Horace Hines from the Jamaica Observer and Leon from the Gleaner. But their days, and Leon is celebrating a birthday today, guys. Happy birthday, Leon. I now invite Reverend Courtney Walters to do the invocation. Please help me to welcome him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the season in which we find ourselves, it's a season where the Christian community recognizes the entrance of Christ into the world. And Isaiah had this great vision. He said, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, the government will be on his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." And today, as we think about Christmas, we have to think about the injustice in the world. We have to think about the situation of children all over the world. We have to think about the discrimination that women face in the world. All incidents that occurred at that first Christmas. Let us pray together. Infinite God, We come before you with thanksgiving and deep gratitude for all your gifts to us, and especially the gift of your Son, Jesus Christ, whom we recognize and we honor. We thank you for changing the course of history and making life more palatable and hopeful. So we come today giving you thanks for all the persons who work so diligently to make our world better. We thank you for the mothers and the fathers, for the children who bring so much joy to our lives, and for the individuals who work assiduously to ensure that justice and peace become possibilities in our world. As we are gathered in this fashion today, we pray that your presence will hover over us, cause that we might have joy, and that we might see new signs of your presence among us, that the words of the angels might pierce our hearts and our ears, and we might hear the sound of joy. We give you thanks, we praise you, and we offer to you our deepest gratitude for who you are and all that you have given to us. Through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Thank you very much, Reverend Walters. I hope that those of you who are not from the parish of Trelawny have looked out yonder and seen the yachts and the cruise ship that graces our presence, in addition to the fact that we're at a place that is one of the most noted attractions in Trelawny, the luminous water. I'm not sure how luminous it remains in the evenings, but I know that years ago when I was a younger girl, I used to come here when I worked at the Jamaica Tourist Board with media people to come and look at the water here, which was one of the better attractions. I think it remains, and I hope that it will continue, once we treat the environment good. We are supposed to be having our president now, Mr. Harris Daly, doing the welcome. Mr. Daly, please come up front and personal for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremony. Mr. Clifford Chambers, Assistant Commissioner of Police. Superintendent Beebut, Sharon Beebut. Deputy Superintendent Milton, Dr. Asher Muendo, the President of the Trelawny Neighborhood Watch Group, Mr. Everton Anderson, CEO of National Health Fund, the media, other members of the JCF, members of the APM JCF, Association of Past Members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Chapter 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Christmas luncheon. As was mentioned by Reverend Walters, that this is the season when we echo in the arrival of Christ Jesus. It's a time when we share on a motto, the APMGSF motto is sharing is hearing. And at this time, we are sharing which shows that we are here. Today marks a special day in the life of our association. And as we go along, you will understand why I mentioned that. I do hope that this luncheon, as we gather to share with one another, and as we return home, that whatever we are doing, that we will remember the less fortunate among us. It is customary that the association would have had their luncheon in the parish of St. James. But we recognize that people who are members of the association are from 4 parishes: Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawny. And as an association, we have decided that we will move around. This year, we are in Trelawny. Next year, maybe we'll move to Westmoreland. Because when we move around, people feel that we care. Not only St. James, not only Trelawny, not only Hanover, but we are moving around. And I'm going to ask of the commanders in the different parishes to assist us in what here we do, in trying to garner and to gather and to recruit retired members into the association. And I must tell them too that when they do that, in fact, they themselves may soon be joining us. You know, I was at a function recently, and one of our members mentioned that a few years ago, he was speaking to some persons who were going on retirement. And then he didn't realize that his time was short. Time. And he didn't hesitate. He came and he joined us. So, commanders, whenever you do leave the force, we are welcoming you to the association of past members of the JCF. Ladies and gentlemen, as we share today, as we speak with each other today, let us spread the joy around. And I do hope that you will enjoy today's luncheon, and that there are many more, or MC mentioned that we have them quite often, because we hear about the persons and we want to show them that we care. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daly. I cannot imagine why anyone, any former member of the JCF would not want to be a part of this organization. Honestly. In fact, I was just saying to our keynote speaker, Mr. Everton Anderson, who is a close friend of mine, that I have not seen another group that takes care of its people like this group does. I think that you are extremely fortunate to have such an association that looks after you after you retire. You know how many times people leave jobs and nobody remembers them? Anyway, we're not going to say anything else other than to welcome SSP Wayne Josephs. I'm just telling that my name is Janet Silvera, and that the last time I spoke with him, I woke him out of his bed, and he never called me back. Mr. Josephs, I introduced myself properly to you because I see that you're making waves in Westmoreland. I must tell you that I'm impressed. Yeah, I've been watching you, and I want to congratulate you on the work that you're doing in Westmoreland. Yeah, very good work. And I will be calling you. I'm going to tell everybody today that I'm calling you. This is the right forum to tell you that I'm calling you. Did Mr. Andre Campbell come? Okay, fine. So I'm now going to ask Mr. You don't want to do no musical interlude, right? Because we did. Alright. Any musical interlude is me singing chorus too. Alright? I want to invite ACP Clifford Chambers, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, for everyone. Please, we don't want no thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Protocol being still observed, but I crave your indulgence just to acknowledge the members of the Association of past officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The discussion somehow centers around the construct of the association welcoming persons when they retire. But I have to hasten to say that I personally feel like family, given that the relationship that the association and myself has, it is not at a later date when I shall retire, but it is present and it is continuous. And I can say that just the manner and the way in which the association works, carry out its mandate and its function, is something that I personally emulate, and I'm just saying that I am part of the family. I sit in an office where persons who are a member of the association staff, and simply within the same context of being a family, you look towards these persons, and I still look towards some of these persons for guidance. But outside of that, these persons that have served the Jamaica Constabulary Force before us, the legacy and the work that they have left, we can only at this stage try to emulate. Even on the sheer statistical side of what was happening then and what is happening now, we can only say, boy, we envy those records, we envy those numbers, and we will do whatever we can to see how best we can come close to getting those numbers, because I can tell you, back when my colleague ACP was in charge of area, if I get those numbers now, where's the purpose? If I get those numbers now, sir, I'll be happy, man, I can tell you that. Though we have to understand that the context and dynamism of crime and the criminogenic environment in which we police has somehow changed. But we can't, just police in isolation. We have to look at where we're coming from, where we're at, and where we want to go. That being said, I really have to speak to the effort of my commanders who are here. Janet woke up Mr. Joseph early, and based on what I said just now, I'm sure he will return your call. Before you come in, he gave notification to Milton that she will be calling you, and I'm sure she will. And I think the person who got the biggest acknowledgement upon her arrival was my commander in charge of Hanover. So she's making all the correct note, and the relationship that she has had with her, obviously, it goes way back. But let me just say just a quick word here and where we're at. I know we start late, but ladies and gentlemen, we have to understand that we're living in some, it's tough time for law enforcement. We have had some zones of special operation, and we are now operating within the context of state of public emergency. And what I can tell you is that we look at our numbers in quarter, and the third quarter that I'm looking on now is better than the first quarter, better than the second quarter, better than the third quarter. So it tells us that the men are working. It tells us that the resources as little as we got recently is being put to good use. And it tells me that the leadership of the commanders that I have out there is being put to the test, and they are responding. You might be aware as well that the Commissioner, Prime Minister, went overseas, and they are somehow engaged in some international stakeholders as it relates to crimes which are being committed locally that have influence outside of Jamaica. And again, that is some good traction, because over 30% of the murders and shootings that we are battling with daily are influenced by persons outside of the region. And it's very instructive that these communications are taking place just now so that we can reap better benefit in the future. We're in the Yuletide season, and I'm just using this moment here to kick off, if you will, my Yuletide celebration. But with that, we also have to be extremely responsible. When we get out there, I urge and encourage everyone to ensure that you're aware of your surrounding environment, the people who you're with. If you're going to drink and drive, you know what to do, designate that designated driver. And if you're going to shop, I'm sure that we all know how to be mindful of the environment in which we move around. Not going to go into the tips now, but I just want to wish everyone here today Merry Christmas when it comes, and a prosperous 2023 when that time comes. So thank you again for inviting me as part of the family, and I look forward for a continuous service to this organization and anyone who thinks that my service can be of much use going forward. Thank you very much. This is my first ceremony, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, ACP. I see that you have been blessed with a team that is excelling. And it would be remiss of me not to recognize a commanding officer from my area, the Parish of St. James, and also a very good friend of mine, SSP Vernon Ellis. He does take my calls. Sharon Beekwood and I go back to school days. She attended the best girls' school in Montego Bay, Mount Alvernia High School. But you said a few things here that I just want to emphasize. You can't police in isolation. We all know this, and I'm glad that the national president of the neighborhood watch is here, because she will take that back. And the media is here, so they will take that back. You said that it's tough times for law enforcement. You spoke about the third quarter being good. That the resources that you're being given, you're putting into good use. And you said that over 30% of the crime that's happening in this country is being influenced by people on the outside. Now we can't afford to allow that to continue. They can't continue to influence what is happening in our country. So if you know something, you need to talk about it. I don't need to tell you people who are policemen and women in it, but I say Everton and brought about 10 people from his office NHF. So I'm hoping that at least we'll be able to reach the other people that are non-police inside this room. That once you know something, you need to tell the police. I believe in that. We're going to have lunch now, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sure many of you are as hungry as I am. So I believe the head table is going to be served first. Then we're going to go by table numbers to the area where the food is being served. And I know that they would probably like me to say that it's table number 1 in the front first that's going to have lunch, but I'm not going to say number 2 after number 1. I'm going to go to the front and then go to the back, so that the people in the back don't think them is lesser in any way or form. How does that sound? Am I going to be invited back because I did that? I don't know. But I'm sure John Morris loves me, so he will invite me back. So, it's now lunchtime. Thank you. And I'll tell you what tables are going. Once the team in the back, are you ready for us? Those of you who are serving, you're not ready. After all this time, okay. Pardon me? You're ready to serve us, but you're not ready to serve the rest of the people?
We're going to serve the soup right now.
You're going to serve them?
The soup, right?
Oh, you're going to serve the soup now? And then persons can go to the buffet line?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So we should sit down and relax and unwind and listen to some music then. I thought she was going to say, I thought that's what she said. The soup of food. What is the soup she said?
That is superintendent.
That's exactly what I heard. So please give us some music, huh?
Did you know that your baby is alive together? Did you know that your baby
So another announcement, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. The 2 reserved tables will be served. Okay? So you people who drove all the way from Kingston, we're not allowing you to walk to number 9. How does that sound? Will you come for me too?
to my prized possessions I gave. Don't count a day to give us life. He was here, he gave his life. Sacrifice of love.
Long time,
Alright, we work on it. You look like Lati, sir. You say you look like Lati. You have to just stay with Lati. Yeah.
Sir Lati, you're expert all over here. You come out to us. Please speak. Come on, inspector.
Wanted to take home the pork. What a shot sleep. And Everton told me that once a police event, pork officer.
May I interject? I'm defending all Assembly Adventists. I am not Assembly Adventist and I did not eat any pork.
I done it done.
Well, if I were you, I would check out the pork. It's your loss if you don't eat the pork. Because the pork is delicious. Maybe I should try and meet the chef. Ladies, the chef is here. Is a female chef or a male chef? It's a male chef? Well, you might have to carry him out later so we can meet him properly. I know that she just got her food, so I'm not sure she is equipped to come and introduce a man who I sat next to just now and enjoyed my afternoon. I think he also made lunch better for me. Real and true. If I were to sit anywhere and have lunch at such an event, and that's cheers to you. Anybody drinking alcoholic wine? Because they said they have alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And Everton told the people that they were not to give the two women in the yellow shirt any alcoholic wine. I'm telling you that Everton gave instructions to the people, the servers, that they could serve everybody else alcohol except the ladies in the yellow. Yes. If you have a friend like Janet, you don't need nothing. Apparently. Anyway, I I want to introduce and invite to come up front and personal to introduce our keynote speaker, Mrs. Yvonne White-Powell, who is one of the newest members of the association, having retired. When we see her come into the business, they go pick me up. What kind of retirement she has about? What can I say? Maybe she's the confusion. If you call her at 5:30 in the mornings, you won't get her because she's walking the streets in her community, trying to keep her stomach flat. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a personal friend of mine, and that's why I know so much. Please give her a round of applause and welcome her.
Thank you very much, Madam MC, and you did say I was a YouTube channel, so I have to be tipping up to speak into the microphone. I want to greet you all this afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, both in the audience and at the head table, and just permit me to adopt the protocols that have been previously done. I have been granted the privilege of introducing to you, gentlemen. Like I said, when I came up here, I only had to say 2 words, and that is exemplary, visionary, perhaps free leadership. So I have the pleasure of introducing to you Mr. Everton Anderson. He is, of course, from the Parish of St. James. He attended Cornwall College, after which he continued his education at the University of West Indies, where he achieved 2 degrees. But we have something in the organization called qualified by experience. So in addition to the degrees that he achieved, a Bachelor of Science in Management Studies and a Master's in Business Administration in Public Sector Management, he is qualified by experience. And you can see that by the way that he runs the NHF. He goes out here, looks at what is happening in the field, and he responds. In October 2022, Mr. Anderson received the Order of Distinction in the rank of the Commander CD for his work in public service, in particular, the development of healthcare. As a son of St. James, his career blossomed in Western Jamaica, and he became the Parish Administrative Officer for Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James Department. And he was the youngest civil servant to be appointed Chief Executive Officer of a Type A hospital, Collen Regional. Give him a big hand, everybody. And he led the Western Regional Health Authority as Regional Director, and he led with great distinction. Despite his busy schedule, Mr. Anderson still finds time to serve his community as a Justice of the Peace for over 17 years. He has served as a board member at Cornwall College, Modern High School, Herbert Morrison Technical High School, and Springfield Oiling School. And because it is after lunch, I will not continue this speech. I will just invite Mr. Anderson to come to the lectern, and if you do not listen, you are going to miss some very important things. It's a history-making speech that you're now about to hear. Mr. Anderson.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair. I don't think the mayor is here. Mr. Clifford Chambers, ACP, Mr. Harris Gager, President of the Association, Reverend Courtney Walters, friends, and I was going to Michelle Brown, who is my schoolmate from Springfield Oiling School in South St. James, and friend, because they can go to the same school and not be friends. But we've never had a problem. Her mother is also my mother. Let me say it was good to see Janet for 2 reasons. for one, main one, I will tell you one. It was only yesterday I wore a red shirt for a breakfast meeting, and the question why I wasn't wearing an NHF shirt. And Janet can verify that she did set up an ambassadorial course in Western Jamaica for us to represent the campus when she was there. So to my team members, I don't have 2 jobs. Janet can verify I only have 1 job, and she knows that Rachel, she gave it to me. Okay? The other thing is that I did work in Trelawny, and I'm receiving a warmer welcome today because my first day in Trelawny, November 2019, I think 166 Haitians landed somewhere out there, and the police at the time took all 166 to the hospital, and it was a very interesting week. So today is a much better day. Let me start, however, by commending the association for putting this on. In the context of life, breaks are important. And my break started December 1. So I thank you for this opportunity for another break. December 1 is my birthday. So I celebrate right through December. But commendations to the officers, because in many circumstances, the police get a bad name. And I can testify that the majority of the force are decent, law-abiding, honest, good people. That has been my experience. So I want to commend you for the work that you continue to do. During the pandemic, we worked especially close with you, and it has been a real pleasure. Now, I have great respect for officers for so many reasons. You have to be brave to choose a career. Now, you have survived the retirees. I remember about 8 years ago, and for my staff, I was telling you, well, please forget. I don't know if you have had the experience of tiles breaking in your room, flying up. And I was at home, and quite a number of tiles popped up loudly. And when I dive off that bed, I thought it was gunshot. I said, boy, this is what our force has to deal with. So I really commend you for your bravery, and for those who are retired, we really appreciate your service. Now, my organization enters into its 20th year of existence next year. And I'm just going to briefly share with you what we do before moving into a few other things. Now, the NHF started in 2003 out of years of discussion surrounding the National Health Insurance Plan. And the organization has grown from 30 employees to nearly 800 employees. We do quite a bit. We started off with the NHF card in 2003 when we took over the management of the JADEP card. So that represents our individual benefits program, which now has over 700,000 members. Over 700,000 members, and pays out over 6 billion subsidizing medication every year. In addition to our flagship program, we do significant work in health projects. We have funded over 800 health projects since the fund was formed, and spent over 22 billion on health projects, including constructing 2 new cancer treatment centers at the Custos. Not only did we finance that, but we managed the project end to end. Our health promotion division, which will work closely with the association, does significant work in screening and helping persons to be aware of their health. The largest part of our operation now started in 2011 when we were tasked with the management of Health Corporation Limited, and then subsequently took over the management of public sector pharmacy services, where we would have taken over and we were processing under 1 million prescriptions. We are now processing 2.6 million prescriptions annually and serving the medication needs of the country, and it's something we're happy to do. As my staff is here, I also want to commend them, because during the pandemic we had issues in reaching persons, and we started doing home medication delivery, and today we have delivered over 200,000 medications to persons at their homes, allowing people to stay home during the pandemic and still receive pharmaceutical care. But that sort of sums up the work of the NHS. We, however, could not have done this without partners, and our partners include suppliers from 80 different countries who procure pharmaceutical and medical sundries. Our partners include the other members of the civil service, private sector, media, business community. And today represents a big deal because we're actually working with a partner that we are proud to work with. The history between the NHF and the JCF is a bit long, and we want to make it even better. We actually signed an MOU some years ago with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And under that MOU, we did significant work in screening. What we found then is that, especially the males, they weren't going to the doctor. They weren't getting any checks. What we found then is that the females, if they had a problem with their fingernail, they would go to the doctor to check it out. But we weren't going, and it's not unique to police. I will tell you that for my annual physical, it's like a warm-up exercise. You remember it, you make up your mind, change your mind, you change the date, but eventually I know I have to go. Because there's something there that says, I wonder what this doctor is going to tell me. In fact, a member of my community once said that no doctor can tell him not to drink. And when pressed hard, I asked him why. He said because he's not going to any. And he wasn't joking. And I found that alarming. So through that, we've been able to build the issue of male health. And that's why when Mr. Morris reached out to me, we were very happy. And I didn't have to do much, John. I don't know the relationship you built with the ladies. We have to watch it because we hear the name too regular in the office. And I did tell you to take care, but don't take charge. But we're really, really happy to work with you on this program. And in contemplating my address today, I really thought that we focus a lot on planning for material things. So if you ask any student what you want to do, eventually it boils out to they want money to do something. Whether it be the house on the hill, whether it be the Benz, whether it be some expensive item. Madonna did say that she's a material, living in a material world. You see, Johnny knows that one. But the reality is that our life goes are often based around significant planning for material things. And I listen a lot of music, so I'm listening music. This has come to be something that I've noticed. There's one song that says, I want to be a millionaire. So very loud. I want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. There's another one by Nesbitt that says, that one is my dream. My dream is to take a play like JUTC. When you see me on TV, And Janet would know this because she listens to all journals. The new guy, Joshua, said it's. Okay, you know, we go again, you know it, you know. Hard for them keep up. The song them a creep up. It start from zero. Now my bank account zeros. So often we plan for the material things in life, the good life. But the reality, ladies and gentlemen, is that there's no house, there's no car, there's nothing without good health. And we need to reshape our minds to dream and vision and plan and act around having good health. And that is why we are very, 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 very happy to be here today, because we want to build an advocacy around good health care. The World Health Organization states that health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. The NCBs were facing now hypertension, diabetes, all of those are one thing. But general wellness through social wellness is also very important. So the MOU we'll sign today will focus on one, physical health, the exercise. You need to walk in every morning now that some are retired, and even those who are not retired would want anybody to commit a crime and outrun senior sweep or ACP. We want it to be fit. It will also focus on screening, blood pressure, prostate screening, mammograms, and checks annually. And we're committed to work with you to make that happen. So the physical health is one. But the other big thing is mental health. Just yesterday, this very popular guy, what's his name, Johnny? The one in the US who committed Twitch. And nobody saw it coming, because I found that mental health is so often ignored. And having spent 10 years at Corner Regional, some of the patients with least visits would be those on 10th floor at the time. Because even our own families, we tend to ignore mental health. So part of our program is to encourage exercise of the mind, is to encourage reaching out to your friend, is to encourage watching what's happening with the colleagues, because sometimes somebody, you see them drifting a little off, you can pull them back. And they joke it off sometimes, but it's nothing. In fact, I saw a guy post recently, I don't know if you saw it, that if you see me talking to myself, don't mind, I'm self-employed and you're having a staff meeting. So this is a few persons talking to themselves. It may be that they're having a staff meeting, but we still want to investigate that a little. So the mental health side is very, very important, and we plan to work with you on that. Now today also represents a social occasion. And I said to some team members earlier that we have to find time for social occasions. We have to find time to play dominoes, to walk and talk, to listen to some music. We just hang out and idle. Because if you follow this world, you're diving into work every single day, and with the WhatsApp now, your boss can reach you quicker. At least sometimes when you have those phones without the cell, boy, you may get a break. But if I want lawyer, call and then I call back. But sometimes you just have to take the time and space to deal with your social well-being. So the MOU is for 2 years, and it will cover physical health, mental health, and we will encourage social health, as I see you here socializing today. Now, for me personally, I am forever grateful to the members of the force on a personal level. I entered into public health at a very young age, where people told me to leave the job because it didn't pay, you know. I can't tell you what the pay was, but it wasn't good. But we stayed the course. But you took care a lot of my social health, because there are some people here, they'll drag me all over the place when they're going out. And I've learned so much from them by being on the road with them. It didn't help, ladies and gentlemen, that I drove when I just started work, a grey Corona, and it had a yellow plate on it. And I was always driving out of Swell Avenue or Freeport. So I've gotten quite a few salutes in my time too. So I am indeed one of you. But as you enjoy retirement, as we do this partnership, I want to encourage you to just take time to chill, take time to relax. And I was saying that you should keep your ice in your glass, but keep cool. And I learned to keep my ice in my glass from a man here, because there was one day we drove to Seaford Town, and we had roast pig Janet at Seaford Town. I was the youngest of the lot. So when we were coming back, we stopped in Antroving for a nightcap. But being young, I not want to look like I couldn't manage. I was offered a last drink, a roadster, and I said yes. But honestly, Courtney, I know I couldn't manage. So I went outside and I ditched it. I threw it away. Now when I came back in, I don't know if the person remembers. I said, Andy, you drink the thing already? I said, yeah man, I drink it. And he said, you drank the ice also? That was ACP Linton that time. So I've learned to keep my own ice in my glass in a different way. So we're really looking forward to working with you, and for us it represents an opportunity for social advocacy. Because we see the advocacy coming about wealth, about material things, about all things that we dream of. We don't see it about health. And in coming to a conclusion, I'm remembering when we had the HIV/AIDS epidemic. And when that came around, people were afraid. Everybody thought this thing would wipe out the world. And now HIV/AIDS is under control. So everybody got on board, and the advocacy was strong. And for those of us who listen to reggae music, Budgie Banton for the counterparts overseas, and he did a nice one that says, Ragamuffin, don't be silly. Put your rubbers on your willy, AIDS on the road, and you don't want to catch it. Now, where we are, we're going to need that same kind of advocacy in healthcare from everybody. From me, from the police, from the teachers, from my friends in the media, from every single person, because healthcare is super expensive. Super expensive. You save by being well. You save by being well. Some patients, I am telling you, are costing the system. One patient with certain conditions can cost the public health system $8-9 million easy. So it pays to be well. So my hope and my dream is that we can build the advocacy around healthcare, starting with us, starting today, and starting by our own healthy practices, and that we can combine NHF, the media, entertainment, police, and everyone to make Jamaica a healthy and a safe place. This being said, I want to wish for you all the best for this season, and I know that the MOU we signed today will lead to significant improvements in our health, and I'm asking you to encourage me why I encourage you, because none of us males like to go to the doctor, but we have to do it. I wish the association the very best, and I will continue to give of my fullest support and pledge that we are here to stay. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Talk about a man who knows music, but we never hear no other genre other than dancehall. You don't hear nobody else. Nothing but Marley in the area code. Jack Sheep. What else? Oh, I see, said the blind man. But really and truly though, what he spoke about resonates with every single one of us in this room. It pays to be healthy. In other words, I recall spending almost $5 million to help my mom a year ago when she had cancer. Cancer is one of the most expensive diseases to treat in this country. In fact, I had to look towards my friends to assist me in ensuring that my mother got the care that she needed. A number of men don't want to know what's happening in their bodies early. I don't know if it continues, but I know that it used to be the case, where many of us would not want to go to the doctor to find out about our prostate, all this and all that. It's the women who are always going to the doctor to try to find out what's happening. I'm encouraging you all in this room to ensure that you start eating healthy. You can continue to eat the pork that they have here today. That's fine. Because when I told the woman about the pork, she told me that she has cholesterol problems, so she's not eating no more pork. Anyway, so I'm saying that you can continue to eat the pork that's here today. But I'm encouraging you to make sure that you have extracurricular activities, and that would be exercising as often as you can, eating properly as much as you can. Take care of yourselves, because it is very, very, very expensive to treat the various types of lifestyle diseases that exist in this country. And Jamaica is famous for these lifestyle diseases. Without further ado, and because it's late afternoon, I want to invite back our guest speaker to receive a gift from retired Inspector Boilder Brown Lindsay. Now, where is she? Mr. Anderson, please come. This painting was done by a Cornwallian named by the name Bulgin. Very talented man who is otherwise an engineer, I believe, at MPJ Airports Limited. But his work is very, very desirable. Inspector, would you like to say a few words? Okay.
Well on.
Mr. Handy,
What's it?
Mr. Handy, on behalf of the members of the retired association, I would like to present to you this gift to show our appreciation for you coming here today and speaking to us. We appreciate everything that you said, and we're going to take into thought and do what you said and make sure that we live long.
is what I'm trying to talk about. Thank you again, Everton. It is always good to have a man of the West return to speak with us. You know, I'm very, very proud of him, knowing that he's making waves in a city that thinks that it is the only part of Jamaica. All the Clistonians don't take it serious. I don't mean to be rude. I'm now going to invite the executives of the APMJCF and the National Health Fund to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. I'm going to pronounce that properly. The Memorandum of Understanding at this time. Thank you. There was a tongue twister just now in. The executives and NHF.
Where are they going up there?
They're doing another copy. I know you're not seeing properly the children.
No, but I'm saying, you know, see me come up.
Oh, all right. Do we need any more chairs up there? No? Okay. All right.
Everybody on that side. Some people come this side, you know.
Do you have the pens and all of that? Good.
Yes.
Go and sign again, Mr. Do the signing. Like when I sign. What a weakness. It's your will.
Oh, you mean? Oh, you mean?
Yes, yes, two persons up there.
Well, guys, this is a historic moment in the life of the association.
Hold on.
To be signing a MOU like this,
Take him again.
which is going to benefit your members. This is a bold move as well. I want to again congratulate the team. Congrats. Don't pick them up in hand. I'm begging, please pick them up. All right. I now invite Miss Chantel Watson and Mrs. Linda Green Francis to the left. Where are they? Linda Green Francis and Chantel Watson
the presentations of the awards. Did we change to Reverend Courtney Waters? Okay, sorry. Reverend Courtney Waters will come to do the first two presentations, followed by Mrs. Linda Green Francis, who is a retired superintendent of police. Ms. Sharon Deepwood, apparently you are in the running, darling. We are going to be putting a presentation to you first. Yeah, I don't know what you do, but one thing I know that you're a great individual, and it says, in appreciation for your invaluable guidance and support between 2020 and 2021. That's during COVID, girl. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you. We invite Mr.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't do this presentation. It takes charm and beauty and the rest. So I'm going to ask Ms. Beekwood if she could come back and join me. There are a number of our members who have given outstanding service to the association over the years. And today is when we choose to recognize them and to honor them. We were hoping for a little more, something a little more elaborate in this fashion. But unfortunately, circumstances and resources have limited us. So Ms. B, would please come. And I'm going to invite Mr. Stedman Roach, Mr. Stedman Roach, to come forward. This gentleman has given more than 40 years service to the organization, to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and he retired some 25 years ago. But you know, when I became assistant chaplain for Area 1, everywhere I went, well, every occasion Mr. Root was there with his mouth organ. And everywhere I went, across the parishes, somebody would say, it's Mr. Roach who recruited me to join the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So he has really, and then having retired and with the association, he has, I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he's at almost every meeting and he makes his contribution, and he's a very, very strong supporter of the association. invite Mr. Linton Latti to come forward. The association is blessed to have someone of Mr. Latti's stature and commitment. He has always been a very, very strong supporter of the association, and he makes sure that he's present whenever the affairs of the association are being discussed. And you know, Mr. Latti has served what, 41 years in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and he has been retired now, I think, about 17 years. So he is a man of great standing. I had the opportunity, the privilege of serving when he was Assistant Commissioner of Police in Era 1. And I can tell you that some of my best moments were with Mr. Latti. I remember one night we were coming from Kingston. I can't remember what the occasion was. And Mr. Latti said, Chaplain, we are going to have a drink. will you come along? Well, I did go and I did have my drink. And it has always been a privilege.
No, we're not.
That's what I was hoping for.
I'm in total agreement with you. Presentation, like presentations to men, should be done by women.
That's right.
Yes. I know there are two others to go. And I think it's 2 men, and it's not being done by women. Praise God. Mrs. Linda Green Francis, retired superintendent, you're doing the other job. Thank you. All right. So we now invite Paul Stevens to receive this award. One of the hardest workers, in this thing, I tell you. Go ahead. Mrs. Green Francis.
Hold on to the plaque, hold the plaque.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. No, it's not gonna shake on. You're gonna have to. Thank you. Don't leave at all. We now invite Cornelius Smith, who will receive the other award. Oh, PRO.
This afternoon we are honoring Cornelius Smith, and he has been the PRO for 2 years. And trust me, he's the best PRO I've seen in
Congratulations, Mr. Smith. In fact, congratulations to all the awardees. You have done well. Mr. Latti, we're inviting you back to respond on behalf of all the recipients. Thank you.
Master of Ceremonies, distinguished and invited guests at the head table, distinguished guests in the audience, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored to be asked to respond on behalf of the audience this afternoon. I will be very brief as I am not the one who is doing the vote of thanks. Firstly, to the President of the Association and the executive members for having selected us for this award. We are sincerely grateful. As a matter of fact, it is said that the reward for hard work is more work. And indeed, we will continue to serve the organization very well. Once again, on behalf of all of us as the awardees, we want to say thanks to each and every person present this afternoon and to wish for you a very happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Latti. We're almost down to the wires, ladies and gentlemen, where we will now invite Fenton Radcliffe, who is our treasurer, to do the vote of thanks. We're giving something to MC.
Madam MC, I am just going to hand this to you and then find myself down by, I'm find myself down by AR gate to take it. On behalf of my colleagues, thank you very much. As she said before, she's always here for us and with us. And we can't say thanks enough.
By the time you people finish with me, I'm going to be a drunk journalist this Christmas. Every single function I go, I get a bottle back home. I can open a bar right now.
Yeah, don't take it to the bar. You better give me Janet. On my birthday, you know.
Good afternoon. All protocol observed. It is without question that today's function is one that will be etched in our minds for a very long time. It reminds us that our work was noble cause, that our efforts have not gone unnoticed. All of us know the nature of the service that we carried out in order to serve and protect our nation was unmatched. And while we did not work to be recognized, as our foreparents would say, encouragement sweetened labor. These kinds of functions are imperative for the holistic growth of our association. With that said, all of us played a part in ensuring that today's function was a success. To the MC, Ms. Janet Silvera, who did a wonderful job at what she does best. And thank and his staff. I am sure that he took time out of his busy schedule to be here today, and he could have been elsewhere. We thank you, Mr. Anderson, and to compress what you have said in a nutshell, healthcare is a basic necessity to sustain life, and our wealth is our health. So we thank you. Clifford Campbell, or ACP in charge of Year 1, Chambers. We thank you. We thank you for sharing your statistics. And we hope and pray that for 2023, it will go down much further. So we thank you, sir. To all the presenters who presented our awardees with the present, we ensured that our awardees were gracefully presented with their certificate. We thank you. To Mr. Linton Latti, who provided a filling response on behalf of the awardees. We thank you, sir. To Mr. Earl Bernard, who provides this lovely venue, we thank you. To the caterers, who ensured that we were not kept hungry for too long, we thank you also. To the person who gave the venue a satisfactory makeover with these decorations, we thank you. To the media and the music the public has just listened, we thank you. On behalf of myself and the entire body of the Association of Past Members of the JCF, I want to sincerely thank you for the parts you have played in today's success. None of this would be possible without the collective effort of everyone that is present here today. Remember, life is measured in moments. Make the most of life. I am sure we all made the most of the moment, the occasion today we shared together. We thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Radcliffe. You know, he has a first name and a last name, you know, so I'm confused. I'm thinking I should say Mr. Fenton, and I know it's Mr. Radcliffe. Thank you, Mr. Radcliffe. You know, I want to thank the lady. I have to go this morning at 7:30 to film a program that I'm doing, and I had a makeup artist come to my house at 6:30. I want to thank that makeup artist for doing a job on my face. Let me tell you something. Them eyelash we have to wear it in the easy, you know? Let me tell you something. I have to take out my glasses. I am very uncomfortable.
Morning.
They are not working. Just so you know, they're not working. I'm just telling all the other ladies that are here this afternoon. All of them want to put on.
After that, let's stand together for the closing. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and beholding, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you his peace in your going out and in your coming in your lying down and in your rising up, in your labor and in your leisure, in your joy and in your tears. May you have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Amen.
Let's go into joy to the world while we're at it.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature
To the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ. Where fields and floods, frogs, hills and plains. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. No more let sin and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found.
Great.
Thank you. We are going to now, please remain standing. We will now do the Jamaican national anthem.
To take home the